Alaska, the biggest U.S. state, isn't just about snow and ice. People from all over the world visit because of its breathtaking beauty and diverse history. Here are some crazy unknown facts about Alaska that might grab your attention. During World War II, Alaska was attacked by the Japanese. During World War II, the Japanese surprised everyone by attacking Alaska. They took over two islands, Attu and Kiska, in June 1942, making the few people living there work for them like slaves. Finally, American troops showed up to kick the Japanese out. But here's the kicker. These troops were ready for a hot desert, not the freezing Alaskan weather. Imagine soldiers in winter gear, unprepared for the chill. The battle went on for 15 intense days, and it was tough. Sadly, 549 Americans lost their lives, but they fought hard. On the flip side, over 2,650 Japanese soldiers were defeated. In the end, the United States came out on top, reclaiming the islands and turning the tide in their favor. It was a wild and freezing chapter in the history books. A young artist created the flag of the state. Imagine this. A 13-year-old artist is the mastermind behind the cool flag of a whole state. Meet Benny Benson, the creative genius. Back in 1927, Alaska wanted a fresh flag, so they threw a contest for students. And guess what? Benny's design rocked their world. His masterpiece showcased the Big Dipper and the North Star, and people loved it. Alaska said, "This is our flag." Fast forward to 1959, when Alaska became a state in the big united family of the USA. Did they change Benny's awesome design? Nope, it stayed the same, proving that sometimes a young artist can leave a lasting mark on history. Hats off to Benny Benson. Before we move any further on our adventure, let's pack our bags and discover the world together. Don't forget to subscribe for more exciting journeys ahead. For North America, Alaska was the epicenter of the strongest earthquake ever recorded. Way up in North America, Alaska had a wild moment back on March 27, 1964. At 5:36 p.m., imagine a super strong earthquake hitting Prince William Sound, shaking everything with a massive Richter magnitude of 9.2. This wasn't a quick shake. It lasted more than 4 minutes, like the ground had its own dance party. And guess what? The aftershocks didn't want the party to end. More than 10,000 mini shakes kept happening for days. It's like the ground couldn't stop wiggling. Now, here's the crazy part. Huge tsunamis, like giant ocean waves, showed up. They were so powerful that they took about 130 lives in Alaska, Oregon, and California. Imagine waves so big they caused so much trouble. Compared to other states, Alaska has the most volcanoes. While many folks might think of Hawaii as the go-to place for volcanoes in the Pacific, Alaska is actually the volcano champion of the United States. It's not just a few either. Alaska boasts over 130 volcanoes. And get this, 50 of them have been spewing out molten rock consistently since way back in 1760. Here's a mind-blowing fact. A whopping 75% of all the volcanic eruptions in the United States over the last 200 years happened right there in Alaska. It's like the land of ice and snow has a secret passion for fiery explosions. Now, these volcanic outbursts aren't just for show. The ash they spit out has caused some serious trouble, costing millions of dollars in damage to things like airplanes and oil production. It's like Alaska's volcanoes have a knack for making their presence known, even when they're not erupting. Some nights can last for 2 months. Picture this. In Barrow, Alaska, there are nights so long they stretch for a mind-boggling 67 days. Yep, you heard that right. Almost 2 months of pure darkness. It's like someone hit the pause button on the sun, and the whole town is in a mega extended bedtime mode. But here's the flip side. When summer rolls around, Barrow gets to flip the script. They bask in the glory of 82 straight days of sunshine. It's like nature's way of saying, sorry about those crazy long nights. Here's some endless daylight to make up for it. So in Barrow, they're basically living on extremes, from super long nights to days that feel like they go on forever. Alaska is home to the largest outhouse race in the world. When it comes to races in Alaska, you might first think of dogging or maybe even skiing, perhaps even some water-based showdowns. But guess what? Anchorage, Alaska, hosts a one-of-a-kind race that's as quirky as it gets, the world's largest outhouse race. Yep, you heard that right. According to Smithsonian Magazine, The University of Alaska Anchorage has been the proud host of an outhouse race every year since 2006. Now, this isn't your typical race. Teams, made up of 4 pushers or pullers and 1 brave soul in a helmet, first have to build their own outhouses. But wait, it doesn't end there. Their creations undergo a serious inspection by a committee to make sure these mobile bathrooms are structurally sound before the race kicks off. Alaska has 3 million lakes. Minnesota calls itself the land of 10,000 lakes, but Alaska has them beat with a whopping 3 million lakes. The king of these lakes in Alaska is Lake Iliamna, the 8th largest lake in the United States. So while Minnesota has its fair share of lakes, Alaska is swimming in millions of them, and Lake Iliamna is the big boss of the lake world. That's a lot of water. The only U.S. capital that can't be reached by road is Juneau, Alaska. Here's a nugget of trivia for you. Juneau, Alaska, is a bit of a loner among U.S. capitals. Why? Well, it's the only one that you can't drive to. Yep, no roads lead to Juneau. If you want to get there, you've got 2 options. Take to the skies, or set sail on the water. Now, let's rewind a bit. Sitka had the title of Alaska's first capital, but things changed in 1906. Why? Gold fever hit Douglas, and Juneau swooped in as the new capital. So not only is Juneau the capital in the middle of nowhere, in a cool way, but it also has a golden history that made it the big shot in the capital game. There's a town dedicated to Christmas in Alaska. Guess what? In Alaska, there's a town that's all about Christmas. It's not at the actual North Pole, but it's called North Pole, and it's a suburb of Fairbanks, about 1,700 miles south of the real North Pole. Now, here's the fun part. North Pole is home to the famous Santa Claus house store. And get this, it's open every single day of the year, 365 days. Talk about Christmas all day, every day. And here's another cool thing. Tons of kids from all over send their letters to Santa, and they end up in North Pole's specific zip code. It's like the North Pole, Alaska, is Santa's official mailbox. Alaska was once sold for $7.2 million. Alaska used to be in Russian hands until October 18, 1867. Yet Russia was the boss of Alaska. Picture this. Back in 1741, a Russian crew led by Vitus Bering rolled into Alaska for the first time. Now fast forward to 1867, and Russia decided to part ways with Alaska. Guess who wanted it? The United States. And here's the kicker. They sealed the deal for a cool $7.2 million. In today's world, that's like $55 million. So Alaska switched owners, going from Russia's hands to becoming a star-spangled part of the United States, all for a hefty chunk of change. Talk about a real estate deal of the century. And there you have it. If you want to know more crazy facts about every country, hoist the sails and subscribe now to my channel Columbus World Discoverer and discover the world with me. Until then, goodbye.